Good morning and happy Monday to you. Allegedly, today is President's Day, but holiday schmoliday. It is Monday. I have stuff to share. So I am here ready for you. My name is LaShonda Brown, and this is Bootstrap Biz Advice, where I teach service providers how to work less and live more by leveraging tech and YouTube. And here's the deal, guys. So much of what I am sharing with you all has come from either personal experience or working alongside people as a YouTube coach. Now, the reality is, times is hard. So I know most of you cannot afford my $500 strategy sessions for me to get under the hood and for me to create a 90-day strategy for your business. If you got it like that, happy to help you. But if not, I make myself accessible through my YouTube membership, my content marketing membership called the Bootstrap Creators. I switched it to saying content marketing because not everyone wants to post on YouTube, but I am going to stress utilizing that platform because it has changed my business and has changed my life. So, although I will teach you strategies for LinkedIn and for Instagram, we're going to always find our way back to YouTube because there are so many different ways for you to utilize it. Now, I have the link to Bootstrap Creators in the comments on this live stream. If you want to join us, you can join by the 24th to be included in our monthly group coaching call. And I think that is the best way for you to propel your business and your YouTube channel forward. But this particular live stream is going to stand alone as a resource to help you to revive a dead YouTube channel. Now, before I hop into the content, I do want to remind you all that we have a brand new workshop recording on the workshop playlist. That was the workshop that we did with Alan, all about podcast monetization. So if you missed that live, you can go ahead and watch that replay. Remember that our coaching call is next week on the 24th. And today, this is what we will be talking about. So exactly what I would do to grow an old YouTube channel. Now, you all know I am a fan of utilizing Post-it notes. I'm a little bit obsessed with them. And so I always break up my education in two little categories, okay? Your who, what, when, where, how, and strategy, systems, sales. Everything that I talk about goes back to that because I want you to have clarity on why you're showing up. And I want to make sure that you have the systems in place to actually execute on what you're trying to do. And so that is how I actually create the format for Bootstrap Biz Advice Live. And so if you are someone who has been watching my live streams and you're like, how does she constantly keep coming up with this content? How is she delivering such value for free? Having very simple frameworks to leverage helps a lot. So again, I literally just wrote down who, what, when, where, how, strategy, system, sales. And based on the topic that I chose, that is how I created the lower thirds that you're going to see. Now, on the channel, we do utilize time codes as a way for you to go back and skip to various sections if you want to hear it again and not have to scan through the entire replay. So those will be added by this afternoon. My virtual assistant, Angela, is going to take care of that. And so I made sure that I copy those over, add those in. And any relevant links that you guys ask me questions about, those will be added as well. So I really do encourage you, if you find this content to be useful, that you do return, whether it's this afternoon or tomorrow, to make sure that you have the links to the things that you would like to utilize. Also, you can see it on the screen, but help this replay get seen by more people by giving it a like. This is a huge part of my strategy on this channel because as you guys engage with the content, YouTube has been pushing me out more and more. We have over 75,000 subscribers on this channel now. I think it's up to 77. We started the year at 40K. So this is for real. Your engagement, even if you never put anything in the comments, if you like it, simply like this live stream and YouTube will push out the replay. So with that being said, I'm going to hop into the content. I do want to make sure that I emphasize If I don't have a brand sponsor, my own offers are the sponsor. So in this case, you'll see in the top right hand corner the logo for the Bootstrap Creators, which again is that membership that is going to walk alongside you and actually help you implement this, for weeks and weeks to come. Because I am a strong believer that most of you have a dormant YouTube channel because you don't have someone kicking your butt to actually do what you need to do. And I don't say that to belittle you. I say that because it's real. When it comes to running an online business, if you don't have a business partner or you don't have employees that are reliant on you to tap in, oftentimes your marketing gets your last efforts. Okay. You always focus on your clients, you focus on delivering on what people are paying you for. But when it comes to getting your name out in front of your audience, people tend to skimp on the marketing. And unfortunately, the marketing is what's going to set you up to scale and be able to do more. And so if you have a dormant YouTube channel as we speak, you probably need to be in my membership. And I will say that throughout this because I do believe it's true. We hold each other accountable. I'm getting more and more involved in people's YouTube channels simply because I have capacity now that I have simplified the membership. So I look, y'all who said you wanted to be in the YouTube growth challenge, I went and I checked your channels and I'm like, okay, have we been implementing what's happening here? Some of you are growing, some of you still have some work to do. And that's okay because I am committed to helping you to get there. So, that being said, if you are a member, just know I'm looking. I'm looking out. And if you would like to join, it's such a fun group. And I will tell you that the coaching calls are more of a behind the scenes look at what I'm doing in my business. And it's an opportunity for you to ask questions specific to your brand. So I'll do the best that I can responding to your questions in real time. But again, the coaching calls are a great time for you to get my attention. So with that being said, we're going to hop into the who, what, when, where, how, and then we'll hop into strategy system sales. So when it comes to reviving a dead YouTube channel, you need to ask yourself, is your channel audience the same as your ideal customer? I want you to get clear about who you want to watch the content. This may sound overly simplistic, but what tends to happen when people claim their name and create a YouTube channel and they leave it, they don't post to it, they go, oh, I'll get around to it. I probably should be doing YouTube. Your business changes drastically from the time you start the channel to the time you decide you're going to post to it. And so you need to make the best use of your time. And oftentimes you run yourself into the ground posting on YouTube when your audience for your content doesn't align with your customer base. What I mean by that is the people who watch your content, the people who are coming in for the various topics should be the same people that should be coming off their pocket and paying for the offers that you sell. So say for instance, if you had a channel where you talked about sewing patterns, you talked about vintage patterns, you collected them, it's a hobby of yours, you should be able to sell them something relevant to sewing. Because if not, if your business is accounting and your channel is about sewing, then you are going to be building an audience and driving traffic to something that will not help propel your business forward. And ultimately, it's a waste of your time unless you're trying to be a full time content creator. So the fact of the matter is if your audience on YouTube does not match your ideal customer for your business, you're actively running two separate business models at the same time. Okay. So you are saying, I'm trying to be a content creator and I'm trying to be a business owner, and both will suffer from your lack of clarity. So you have to decide. If you decide that your hobby is going to be the focus of the YouTube channel, are you ultimately wanting to be a content creator? Okay. If not, then you need to make sure that the stuff that you talk about on YouTube is relevant to your business model. Another example, if you are a wellness coach, the content on your channel should be about wellness. If it's about your career as an R&B artist, why would someone pay you for wellness education or wellness help? Okay. We only have so much time. And this is just my opinion. And I'm really trying to read the room and stay on top of how things are changing. I don't think that people especially if they are parents or married or at this point just over 30. I don't think we have the capacity to really go ham on hobbies and our business. You kind of have to pick one, and it's like, okay, well, I'm going to put the emphasis on my business because that will actually free up time to have hobbies. Then your content on YouTube needs to be about what will drive sales. Otherwise, you're just going to be spread thin and not serving anybody well. And I see this happen a lot. So the biggest thing I would say to you is regardless of when you started the channel or start at the channel, meaning you put your Google email in and you created a YouTube channel attached to it. You need to look at your business now and look at where you want your business to be going in 6 to 12 months, okay? If you're saying these are the types of people that I would like to attract, your YouTube content needs to revolve around that. Now, in my case, this is where it's different. I am a full-time content creator. The content is the business. Brands will pay for me to create content. They will pay to sponsor my content. They will pay to do collaborative webinars and all of that. So in my case, since the content itself is the business, the goal for me is simply to build a relevant audience. The more eyeballs I have watching my content, the more value my content becomes to the brand. Okay. So my focus is on audience growth. My focus is on engagement. Those are the things that matter to me because I have a content creator business model. But if you are a service provider trying to leverage YouTube to drive leads to your business, your content has to match your customer. Otherwise, it's a waste of your time. Okay. So you may need to clean some stuff up. You may need to go through your channel and hide some of your old content that reflects where you were, but not where you're going. Okay. I have seen so many people actually go into their YouTube channel and mark all of their previous content private. They didn't want to delete it because they still wanted it for memory's sake, but they did not want it visible to a new audience because it wasn't relevant to where they're trying to go. There is nothing wrong with you marking everything private and basically starting from scratch. People do it on Instagram all the time, and you can do it on YouTube. Okay. So I really want to make sure that you step back and say to yourself, is this relevant to where I'm going? Or does it reflect where I've been? That's a really important thing for you to be honest about. Now, before I keep going, I completely forgot. I got super excited this morning for no apparent reason, and your girl created a checklist. And I think honestly, it's because I'm like, man, I really should be growing my list while I'm live streaming, and I've been struggling with that. So the simple thing for you to do is to scan this QR code. This is built in to StreamYard. All you got to do is paste in the link to where you're trying to drive traffic. It's also the pinned comment. I created a checklist called the Bootstrappers Guide to Reviving a YouTube Channel. You don't have to pay for it. All you got to do is put in your name and email. It's going to redirect you to the Canva public link for this Canva doc that I made this morning. So if you want it at any point, just click on that link, go sign up, scan the QR code, it'll take you there. So I'll just leave that up for your convenience, okay? But I really want you, again, to think about who your customer is and is your current channel geared toward that person? Okay, so let's see here. This is coming from Camille. I've been thinking about doing that and wanting to ask you if it will hurt the channel. Thanks. So here's the biggest thing. The only thing that it's going to do to negatively affect your channel is your watch hours are directly correlated to the public videos on your channel. Okay. A video has to be public in order for the algorithm to count the watch time. So if you hide a bunch of stuff, you may see your watch hours temporarily go down. But in my opinion, most of you are not just trying to monetize through AdSense. So I think for the clarity that it's going to give you, it's totally worth just marking those things private. I mean, back in the day, literally on this channel, I would use YouTube to host Zoom recordings from my coaching calls when I had a marketing agency. Those Zoom call recordings are not relevant to what y'all need to know right now. So I marked that as private. I'm like, it's just not relevant. Okay. And so for so many people, they've used YouTube as a free hosting service for video replays or recordings, that might not be relevant to the person you're trying to attract right now. And so I would definitely say, for the sake of clarity, definitely archive or mark private any previous content that has your previous business name, your previous business direction, so that when someone comes, they get so much clarity about who you are and how you can help them. I've actually done this with Instagram. Most people are confused by the fact that I have 18,000 followers on Instagram and like less than 50 posts. It's because I archived everything that wasn't relevant. I started my Instagram account as a way to share with friends and family the process of planning my wedding. I've been married for 13 years. So that person that was taking pictures of the bridesmaids' dresses and the rehearsal dinner and all of that, that is not relevant to what I'm trying to do right now. And out of respect for my family members, I am not trying to expose them to people who just want to follow me. Okay. I don't need my nieces and nephews and my sister and my brother and all that being recognized in public like people recognize me. So, out of respect for them, I'm like, okay, this is no longer just a personal Instagram account. I am going to archive those posts, and I sent the posts to chapbooks to be printed so I could still have that record of planning my wedding and all those fun memories, but it's just not relevant to Bootstrap Biz Advice and my career as a speaker and all that. Okay. So this is not just a YouTube thing. I really think that periodically you need to archive content that isn't relevant to where you're going, because what people tend to do is they start to go back and binge, especially on YouTube. They might go back and start looking at content from 5 years ago. I saw this happen with Duran Bernard. What's Duran's last name? But Duran, the singer who just won a Grammy. He had a YouTube video that was like 12 years old that resurfaced after he won a Grammy. Now, the thing about it is, it was still relevant to what he was trying to do because he's literally always wanted to be a singer. So that was fine. But can you imagine if he had, content from a past life that was embarrassing or just not relevant to what he was trying to do? YouTube would have promoted it to all those new people who were looking for him after the Grammys, and they would have been utterly confused. Okay. So take the time to clean it up. Okay. If it is not relevant, just let it go. It's not going to help you by leaving it in the archives. All right. So the next thing is, I want you to think about what are your content pillars? And are your content pillars for your YouTube channel relevant to your offer suite? Like, what are you actually trying to sell? Again, you cannot look at my channel as the framework because I have a content creator model. All right. I'm not trying to grow Jotform. I'm not trying to grow Connect Team. I'm not trying to grow Canva or Flowdesk. These are brand partners of mine who want their brands in front of the business owners who watch my channel. So that's not how I set my playlist up. Okay. But even for me, even knowing that brands essentially pay for space on my channel, most of the playlists that are showcased on the channel right now are relevant to my membership. Okay. From an organization standpoint, it makes it easy for my members to get access to the content that they pay for. But it also helps new people to realize, like, oh, if I'm a business owner, not only can I watch the free content, but I can get access to these workshop recordings. I can get access to these coaching calls if I become a channel member, and I can easily see in the playlist what I will gain access to if I join Lashada's channel. I have noticed I don't need to do launches for my membership anymore, because now that my membership is on YouTube, every piece of content is driving traffic to the membership by simply having a join button underneath the player. Okay. And so in my case, my playlists are relevant to the membership and showcasing my top affiliate partners. But in your case, I think your playlist should reflect your offer suite. What are you ultimately trying to sell? Are you trying to sell coaching sessions? Are you trying to sell a membership? Are you trying to sell yourself as a speaker? Are you trying, whatever that looks like for you? Your playlist, again, because your channel is geared toward your ideal customer, your playlist should reflect what you actually sell, and your content pillars should be relevant to your offer suite. So if you have a low ticket offer like I have a YouTube passive income guide. I give that away for free just to grow my list. But say, for instance, I was selling it. If I was selling the YouTube passive income guide, I would probably have a playlist about strategies for generating passive income with YouTube. And then at the end, the beginning and the end of that content, I would say, hey, if you want access to my YouTube passive income guide, that's a 16-page ebook that's going to give you practical strategies to turn your YouTube channel into a passive income engine. All you need to do is scan the QR code or click on the link in the description. Boom, done. Okay. So if you can think to yourself, what am I actually trying to sell? Then you need to be generating playlists that are driving traffic to exactly what you sell, because they can always click on videos just to see everything that you've posted. So what you choose to showcase needs to reflect your offers. Okay. The next thing is you need to think about how often will you be posting to your dead channel moving forward. So you need to look and see, when is your audience watching now? Now, if it is straight up dead and has like no subscribers, you're not going to have enough data to decide this. But you may want to check your analytics just in case, because as you start to think about, I want to give my YouTube channel some love, you need to post your content when your audience is actively watching your channel, because YouTube spends the first 24 hours deciding where is the audience on audience satisfaction. Are they clicking on the thumbnail? Are they reading the title and liking what they see? Or is this not relevant? Because how it performs in the first 24 hours will dictate how many views that content gets. Okay. And so if you start your posting time around when your audience is typically watching, you have a better chance of that content performing well. For example, I know for a fact that most of the people in my audience watch my content before they go to work or after. I can see the peaks. And during the workday from 9 to 5, the traffic goes drastically down on my channel, because my audience is primarily people who are either working a 9 to 5 and growing their business as a side hustle, or they're people actively running their business. And so the reality is they don't have time for continued education during the workday. They do that at night, they do that on the weekend. And so if I know that about my community, then I can say, I need to post my content moving forward at 6 o'clock at night, at 6 o'clock in the morning, because I know when my audience is watching. And so obviously, if you're trying to revive a dead channel, you have to start posting content to it. So you do not want to post when your audience isn't on YouTube. And you will find that data by going into the analytics of your channel. If your channel is super small, you will not have enough data to choose from. You're going to have to start posting and then watching the data once your channel grows. But if you have a decent amount of subscribers already there, you will be able to see that information. The next thing I want you to think about is, how are you driving traffic to your new videos? Like, where are you pulling the eyeballs from? This is an often overlooked aspect of YouTube. People think if you post it, the people will come. YouTube SEO does help. However, again, that first 24-hour window is critical for your YouTube content. So if you can drive traffic from platforms you already have, your YouTube videos are going to perform better. Whether it is an email list, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, if you can pull in traffic from other platforms where you already have an audience, your YouTube content will perform better in the first 24 hours, and then YouTube will help to promote it. You can do SEO on a YouTube channel that's basically dead. The problem is, if people aren't searching for what you created content for, not going to help you. Okay. Or if your title is relevant to just you and people don't know who you are, not going to help you. There is a new feature that YouTube has been playing around with called the hype feature. And so what people can do as they watch your content, if you have a small channel, is they can hype up your video. So it's similar to a like or similar to commenting in terms of engagement. But what's helpful about it is YouTube developed this feature to hype a video to try to help small YouTube channels be seen by more people. And so even if you have a small channel, if you can direct your audience to hype your video up, I believe it's within like the first week, you'll see that feature, then that can help push your content out. Okay. So maybe your call to action in your content isn't even like or subscribe. It's simply hype this video to help it be seen by more people. Okay. So you may want to check that out when you do start posting content and just see if you have access to that feature. I'm not sure if it's 100% rolled out for everybody, but I do know it's an effort from YouTube to try to help small YouTube channels to grow. So you need to think about, do I have platforms already? Do I have a membership? Do I have a list? Do I have another social platform that I can use to let people know when I have new videos live? Just like you would with the podcast, you can't just upload a podcast recording and just hope people listen to it or watch it. You got to let people know it's there. So you have to think about where you're going to pull in traffic from and utilize that to help get more eyeballs on your new content. You need to know the why behind the YouTube surfaces that you choose to leverage moving forward. If you have never heard of the term surfaces when it comes to social media, here is the general idea, and then I'm going to explain the surfaces on YouTube specifically. A surface is simply a way that you can generate content for the platform. So if I was looking at Instagram, I would say that Instagram stories is a surface. Instagram reels is a surface. Instagram posts are a surface. And within that, obviously, you have different post formats. Instagram Live is a surface. And so as you start to think about why you're using YouTube, don't just say, I want to create content for YouTube. Know the specific surface that you're using and why, because YouTube has a ton of them. Okay. On YouTube, you have YouTube Shorts, which is a direct competitor with TikTok and Instagram Reels. I have friends who were big on TikTok who simply started repurposing TikToks as YouTube Shorts as a backup in case TikTok went away. Now their YouTube audience surpasses their TikTok audience and they're making more money. So now they're known as being YouTubers and not even TikTokers. Okay. You don't have to post long form content to YouTube. You literally don't. If you are better in 30 to 60 seconds, don't even worry about editing a 10-minute long video. Just post shorts. For a lot of people with podcasts, the sound bites from their podcasts work really well as shorts. So you could literally have a YouTube channel and only post shorts. That's a legitimate way to use this tool. Okay. You could just do long form content and say, hey, I'm not good with short form. It's not my bag. I'm not going to do it. Then you can edit your videos so you can have more attention over what you're outputting. And you can just use the videos tab. You could be like me that's like, look, sis, I know how to yap. I'm a speaker, and this works better for my schedule to be able to talk, essentially deliver webinars as my content. And when I hit end stream, my content creation is over for the week. Then go live. If you have a podcast, you may say, okay, I want to use YouTube podcast feature. And so you can do that. If you want to focus more on utilizing community posts, posting every day like you used to on Facebook, we'll do that. If you got a membership like me, do that. If you have a store, you can integrate Shopify with YouTube. Okay, fine, do that. But as you can see, all those surfaces do not need to be used for you to be successful on YouTube. In fact, utilizing too many of them will spread you thin and will hurt the clarity of your channel. So I personally have started doubling down on the first three and basically my membership. Okay. So I use YouTube Shorts in the sense that I repurpose my sponsored reels to my YouTube channel. So I'm not creating YouTube Shorts that only exist on YouTube. I'm using it as one more place for brands to get in front of my audience. My YouTube videos at this point are primarily sponsored content because I create a lot of live content. So if I'm going to sit down like today and I'm going to create another video for Connect Team, I've been able to do, one sponsored video for Connect Team the past couple months, but that's about the max I can do with all the traveling and manage my membership and helping my husband with some marketing strategy for his company. Like, I can't be editing all this content. All right. Nor do I want to pay somebody to do all that. So I primarily leverage YouTube Live and my membership, which kind of go hand in hand. Most of my membership content is simply a paywalled live stream. It really is. Most of my content is just live because I thrive in that format. I love to engage with my audience that way. It's helped me become a better speaker. It's helped take the stress off of teaching. And so that's what I love. That's my jam. That's why we did a whole YouTube live boot camp in January because I wanted to share the behind the scenes about how I'm leveraging live streaming on YouTube to grow my business and what does it practically look like to build a model around basically not editing your content. Okay. It also is a practical way to combat AI. You know, this is me because there's no edits. This is me in real time responding to your comments. And so I think it's built a lot more trust with my community by people being able to tune in at a certain time and watch me in real time. Okay. So that's the surfaces I use, but you don't have to do what I'm doing. You may say to yourself, I really want to lean on pre recorded content and I have physical products. So I want to create YouTube videos where I showcase how to use my physical products. And it's linked to my Shopify store so people can click on, the products at the bottom of the video and go straight to buying it. People do that with Amazon affiliate stuff. They show how they're using their Amazon items in their home and then they link to their Amazon shop. So there's so many different ways of doing it, but as you can see, there's so many things to choose from. You got to pick a few and just stick with that. Don't spread yourself thin and think, oh man, I got to go live. I got to edit content. I got to do shorts. You really don't. You really don't. And the most successful people on YouTube don't. I have a friend of mine who has over 1 million subscribers on YouTube. He posts a video once a month, but that video is like freaking History Channel quality. Like he puts all his effort into one video. That one video would get like 500,000 to 1 million views within the first week. And that sustains him. It's insane, but that works for him. For me, I don't have the attention span to be doing all that. I'm gonna go live, I'm gonna yap a little, talk a little, walk away. That's me. So really understand, where do you thrive in regard to video content? Where do you feel the most comfortable? Where do you feel like you're the most effective? Do that. Own that. Even if everybody else isn't doing it, because ultimately people are paying you to be good at what you do. So if being live makes you feel stressed, if you're like, no, I need to be able to edit. What if I say the wrong thing? What if I get discombobulated? What if I lose my train of thought? Okay, edit your content. Or if you're like, man, I don't really like editing in CapCut, then do shorts. Cool. Love it. But you got to get clear about what services you're going to be using because again, you have to train YouTube to know how to index your channel. You can't be flopping, between all of them. If you decided I'm a shorts person, then you need to double down on shorts. If you decided you need editing, you got to double down on editing because although this is a place to host video content, it also has its own algorithm and it needs to understand who you are, okay? Who you are and what you're about. So make sure that you don't sacrifice that. All right, so let's see here. This is exactly what I've started to do. Live education. Thanks so much for sharing. You are so welcome. Surface is a new reference for me, but it makes so much sense. Yeah, I mean, honestly, what's happening with social media is they're trying to utilize features from other platforms to get you to stay on there longer. So Meta doesn't come up with very many new things on their own accord. Stories are a Snapchat ripoff. Reels are a TikTok ripoff. Instagram Live is a Facebook Live ripoff or a Periscope ripoff if you really want to go all the way back. And so ultimately, when you think of surfaces, that is a social media's platform's attempt to keep you from leaving the platform. It's like YouTube saw people going to Patreon for their memberships and they thought, you know what? What if we integrated memberships directly into YouTube so we don't lose traffic to Patreon and let's do a rev share so we actually make some money off the memberships. And so memberships on YouTube are pretty much 70-30 in terms of the rev share. So they take a little bit, but then you get the rest of it as part of your AdSense payout at the end of the month. So they just look at, okay, is there a little bit of market share we can take from somebody else? Let's add that as a feature. Let's add that as a surface. And so that's what they're doing. They're just trying to make you more loyal to them. And so although that's good for them and for their business model, don't let it drive you crazy because you don't need to be doing all that just because they offer it. Okay, the last thing before we get into strategy system sales is how are you going to keep up coming up with new content? Okay, like I said, so many people are like, Lashonda, how the heck do you know what to talk about live every Monday? The reality is, and I show this to you guys all the time, I honestly need to go through this and throw some of them out. These are real post-it notes from I have some in here. Let me find. Okay, this is really good. I don't remember who said this. It was some call I was on, but someone said people don't need answers. They need experiences. Oh, that was a mini mind call I was on. And one of my friends said that and I was like, "Dang. That's a powerful sentiment. People don't need answers. They need experiences." Talking about why people pay for memberships now. They don't pay for memberships just for answers to their questions. They pay for how it makes them feel. They pay for the sense of belonging. And so I'm like, man, this may not turn into a YouTube live, but this is a good prompt for a LinkedIn post. And so as I'm on calls, I'm writing down practical things people are saying and saying, okay, well, that's a good video. That could be a good topic. Here's another one. Another friend said, depth, not volume. People need context more than information. I mean, granted, I'm friends with a lot of educators, so they talk like freaking fortune cookies, but I love that for them and it helps me make content. Let's see, what else do I have in this stack here? I've got content on someone wanted to know more about managing your remote team. Okay, so that could be a live stream or that could be a sponsor post. And I could say, okay, who's a company that specializes in project management? This could be a great video sponsored by ClickUp or sponsored by Asana or sponsored by Trello or somebody like that. So I had someone ask me on a call, do you have some advice about managing a remote team? And there you go. That could be an idea. And so I think at the end of the day, you really have to constantly have your ears to the ground saying like, okay, what crap are people saying that is not true? As like, you really should do this, drop everything and try this. Or what are some questions that keep coming up? Or what was something poignant that I heard on a podcast or in an audiobook or a friend said or what have you? Those can be your content ideas. Very rarely do I just arbitrarily make up content. Now, I do try to relate it back to what I'm offering, but ultimately, my best content comes from real life situations and real life people. Right now, my membership is walking through a YouTube growth challenge. Many of them have had their channels dormant for weeks or months. They started the channel, they put their profile picture up, they did the cover art, but they aren't posting content. And so I'm like, okay, I think I need to take some time out and say, we don't need to beat ourselves up for abandoning our channel, but practically speaking, there's some mindset work you need to do before you just start posting. And so this video is not only a resource to help attract people to the membership, but it actively serves the members I already have. So often on this channel, what you're actually seeing is me communicate with my members in real time. I'm letting you be a fly on the wall to say, hey, man, if she's giving this away for free, if she is reading the comments and responding to them in real time, imagine if I was a member. Imagine if she knew me personally and had the link to my YouTube channel and knew where I was trying to go or what was happening in my family or whatever. I could really grow faster. Then people of their own accord click on, the little dollar sign next to the comments and they join the YouTube membership so that they can get on my radar and get my help. Okay. And so for me personally, I find that answering questions or talking about topics relevant to my members is a very easy way for me to not run out of things to say because I can think about the real people in the back of my head. And without dropping names or putting people's business out there, I can provide practical solutions to what they're actively going through. So, with that being said, I said it at the beginning, I'll say it again. I genuinely think that as you start the process of reviving your YouTube channel, it's important that you have support, either support from me or support from another YouTube coach who can actually help you walk through that process. Again, we are not in an information shortage world. You can find answers on ChatGPT. You can ask ChatGPT right now, how can I revive my dead YouTube channel? And that's fine. Get Chat's information. You won't know if it's actually helpful or not. You'll just know it's an answer and you can go from there. But if you want a human being who's actively growing a YouTube channel in real time, who does this every freaking day, who has produced video content for people for over 10 years, this is year 15 of me working with my husband on his video production company. That's the perspective that I bring to the table. I have 15 years experience as a corporate film producer, so I understand what brands want and I understand small business owners. And the merging of the two is what gives me my unique POV that helps the service providers that I work for. I also know what it's like to be burnt out as a service provider because, on top of my husband's video production company, at one point during the pandemic, I was helping him as a producer, was running my own agency. I had my stock photo business. And for some bizarre reason, I decided to farm myself out as a fractional CMO to two other companies. One was a staffing agency, and one was our local chamber of commerce. I was working 5 jobs at one time at one point, and that was utterly insane. And I knew this is not sustainable. This is not helpful. This cannot work long term. And so I had to take a step back and say, if I could rebuild my life right now, what would I want? And I wanted a business model that fit within a 20-hour work week where I could be my best self working part time and getting full time income. So that would free me up to help my husband when he needed help. That would free me up to help my friends, to help my family. That was the life I wanted. And so content creation for me was the best path to that because I looked around and I said, oh, wow, when you're a content creator, your customers pursue you. You don't pursue them. You literally keep making content until people put two and two together. And then they email you, they sign up, they click on your affiliate link. And because we own a video production company, I knew I had an infrastructure that I could leverage. And I became my husband's production company's number one client until his latest client exceeded that, which I'm grateful for because thankful for the income. But at the end of the day, I literally hire my husband to edit my content, to film my content, And so that's the dynamic that I'm working with. That is how, even on a live stream, I look this good because he set up my lighting. He set up the live streaming. He just got me better internet so I can live stream in 1080p now. I don't have to put that stuff in my brain because I'm leveraging the tools I have at my disposal. And so that is what you're seeing in real time. That is not everyone's background. That is not everyone's story. But I do want to be clear about what I bring to the table. I can help service providers because I'm actively still one. Okay. And so when it comes to strategy, I want you to think about, how does this channel fit into your overall marketing strategy? Is it the top of your funnel? Is it that you're like me and you get on Mondays and you say, hey, I'm going to post a video. I'm going to go live at the beginning of the week. And then I'm going to use that content as the framework for the rest of my marketing content. I'm going to cut it up and I'm going to create shorts. Those shorts will also get posted on Instagram. The content that I cover will be captions on LinkedIn. I'm going to, however you want to leverage it. How does YouTube actually fit in to where you're marketing overall? Are you leveraging in-person events and YouTube? Well, then you probably should be posting event recaps on your YouTube channel to show people what your in real life experiences look like. So you got to know, is this the top of funnel? Is this bottom of funnel? Why are you here? Okay. Not just because people said you should do it. For you personally, where does this fit? Are you trying to be a content creator and this is the product? So you getting better at content creation is the name of the game. Okay, cool. But again, you got to know the strategy behind it. You have to know your marketing funnel and you have to know the value ladder for your business. If you don't know what I'm talking about, we covered this in the YouTube Live Bootcamp. The replay is available for anyone who becomes a Bootstrap creator. That is what I love about having my membership on YouTube. All I have to do is create the content and go in the back end of YouTube and say, how do I want this to be visible? Is it private, unlisted, or public? Or is it members? And then if it's members, I determine which membership tiers can see it. Is it coffee crew, star students, creators? And then I publish. And that's it. When I tell you, like, it has changed how I show up for my members because all I got to do is schedule a live in StreamYard and teach. Okay. So I just went into the depths on this topic, and I think it was a really effective way to talk about how to create a strategy for your YouTube channel. Two more things, and then we're going to land the plane. How are you going to show up repeatedly without too many variations in your quality? I'm a systems girly. I'm a tech girly. Here's the reality. If you show up looking beat to the gods in HD one week, and then the next time I see you, the audio's trash, the lighting is horrible, I'm not going to subscribe. I'm not going to keep coming back because I don't know what I'm going to get. And so having a system for your content creation so you can be consistent is key to growing on YouTube and reviving a dead YouTube channel. You cannot be all over the place. You cannot pay for an editor to edit some content and then the next thing you know, you're in Windows Movie Maker editing yourself. Okay? You need to create something that you can be consistent with even if it's bare bones. Okay? And I think that's something we don't talk about enough. You don't have to do the most. You don't have to create a feature film for your channel to be effective, but you can't be, wishy-washy. You can't post a feature film one week and the next week it's like a TikTok video. Okay? If you are the channel where you always get on with no makeup and you real talk in real time, no edits, then be that person. If you're the person that's giving people high quality, concise tutorials, be that person. A practical example is this, and I don't think he would mind me saying this. I love Roger Coles. He is a fellow Canva verified expert. He is untouchable when it comes to Canva tutorials in a vertical format, whether it's a short, a TikTok video, an Instagram reel. He has got that on lock. He loves short form content. He's clever. He makes raps and jingles. He loves it. That is not my ministry. It's just not. I'm not that person. Can I make a YouTube short? Can I make a reel? Yes. But that is not something that I, on my own, can create on a consistent basis without sacrificing quality. You can tell when LaShonda edited a short versus my team edited the short because they're professionals. They're good at what they do. And so for me, I prefer to double down on creating a system for live streaming. I have my lights I turn on. I turn them on here. I turn it on back there. I have my microphone that I use. It's my actual desk. I have my camera over here that's got a teleprompter on it. I've got a nice screen here. And this is where I show up. Whenever I teach, whenever I get on a call, whenever I go live, I'm here. I have my systems in place. So I just turn it on, open up StreamYard, go live. Okay. So week to week, you see the same intro, you hear the same quality audio, you see the same consistent lighting. That consistency is key to me being able to show up, not frazzled, not all over the place, not going, oh, is this muted? Can you guys hear me? Like I come ready to roll. But the reality is, especially on a Monday, I start my day between 4:30 and 5 o'clock in the morning. I am working out. I'm cleaning my house. I'm hydrating. I'm getting something to eat. I'm walking 2 miles. I'm taking the time to do my makeup. I'm in silence creating these lower thirds that you're seeing because I want to pour in the effort. So when I show up live, I'm not searching for links. I'm not searching for thoughts. I'm not searching for resources. I came ready. I can't pull this off multiple times a week. That's why the work with me sessions is literally y'all working with me. I'm sitting here muted. I'm here. Sometimes I'm on the walking pad. I'm not even on camera. I don't put the pressure on myself to show up in this way multiple times a week because it's not sustainable for me. And so you have to have systems in place and you have to be honest with yourself about what is doable. Because again, as you revive that YouTube channel, you are training YouTube to know, is this a daily YouTube channel? Is this a weekly YouTube channel? Is this a monthly YouTube channel? What is this? And they're only going to know that from the consistency that you upload. Okay. So that is so key. A lot of social media platforms say that, but when I'm telling you, it's for real on YouTube because YouTube is a search engine. It's not like Instagram or TikTok where just the algorithm can sometimes decide who to go viral. Like you have to train the algorithm on YouTube. You have to train the search engine to know how to properly index your channel. And you can only do that through consistency. So you have to have a system. You cannot fly by the seat of your pants. It's just not going to work because YouTube isn't going to know who you are or who your audience is. So you have to train it by showing up in the same cadence at the same quality. Okay. Last thing, and then I can address a couple questions before I hop off. How are you going to convert your viewers into sales? And this is huge. No matter what you do on YouTube, there is a cost, even if the cost is your time. Your time is worth money, which is why when people want to work with you one on one, a lot of you go back to your hourly rate and say, well, I'm this an hour, or my sessions cost this, or what have you. And so you have to think about, I'm actively losing money when I post to YouTube because I'm taking time away from other things I could be doing in order to show up. So, in order for you to not lose money on your channel, you have to think about, how am I going to convert my viewers into sales? Are you going to do something like what I did this morning, where I said, hey guys, I made a guide to help you. You can snag it here. And I went in Flowdesk and I created this and I commented on my own live stream and I pinned this comment. I created the QR code in the top left for you guys to sign up for the guide because ultimately, if you get on my list at some point, I'll probably offer something you want to buy. So, a very simple strategy could be every single piece of content needs to drive traffic to my email list. I will figure it out later. I will figure out what to sell them, but I know I need to capture them from being a viewer or a subscriber to subscribing on my list because that's what I own. That's what I control. So if I ever decide to stop posting to YouTube, I still have access to those viewers in that way. Okay. That's a valid strategy. In this case, I didn't make a fancy opt-in form. I duplicated an old one on Canva. I just made that Canva design a public link. Like I didn't stress. I got that up in like 20 minutes this morning because I wanted to have something tangible for you to go through and for you to check things off. So if I go into Canva, this is the literal guide you're going to get if you scan the QR code or if you click on that link in the caption. And if I bring it up on the screen for you, you're going to see this is what it looks like. It's very simple. I started with Canva AI and I simply said, I'm trying to create a one-page guide for my community to help them revive a dead YouTube channel. I went in, I completely changed the header so that it was on brand for me, changed the fonts, changed the colors, and edited the content. The fun thing about me using a Canva doc is I can always go back in months after this live stream is over and edit what this says because maybe there are some things that are no longer relevant. And so I can go in Canva and I can easily make those changes. I'm actually leaning to Canva docs more than PDFs now because of that reason, because things freaking change so much that it's like, how can I stay on top of it? If I'm constantly having to update my PDFs, it's like, this is exhausting. But if I know this is always the link to this piece of content, I can always go in and I can always add more stuff. So maybe for you, you want to sell something, a very small resource, $10 resource with your YouTube content. And that's how you're going to convert viewers into sales. You got to have a plan for that because, again, you will actively lose money on your channel if you don't have something that leads to sales. The simplest path is email. And that's part of the reason why I am a Flowdesk partner because I love how easy Flowdesk makes it to monetize your list. Because of the integration of Flowdesk checkout with Flowdesk, you could literally sell something on your YouTube videos without even having a website. You could literally create a standalone landing page using a Flowdesk checkout page, and that can be the link. It can be the link in your description, it can be the pinned comment. And so you can just talk about whatever is relevant to your audience and then drive traffic to that particular guide. So I put this stuff into this live stream today to show you it in real time. Use the QR codes, use those pinned comments, use like the little ticker thing I'm using now. If you forget to talk about your membership, to talk about your offers, these little ticker things are super helpful in StreamYard because that's doing the talking for me. It's telling you, if you want help with your YouTube channel, become a Bootstrap creator. So you can leverage technology to make sales easier. You can use workflows and Flowdesk to nurture your list for you. All you got to do is focus on getting them on the list. I mean, these are the types of things that the 6-figure and 7-figure entrepreneurs that you listen to, that you watch, are actively doing behind the scenes. You have to have the systems in place. I don't think that you can grow on YouTube without leveraging some type of tech for your systems. And so that is why, as I give you advice about how you can grow with YouTube, I'm always going to refer you to tech tools that can make your life easier, like StreamYard, which I'm showing you right now. Okay. So in the description, I have links to my YouTube passive income guide. I have links to Bootstrap creators. I have links to my coaching calls. If you're like, actually, I do have $500, I don't have the time, and I just want to do a 60-minute call with you and just have you tell me what to do. Okay, fine. If that's where you are, great. But you can see, even if all you do is look at the description on this video to get a perspective of how you can turn your live stream audience into a customer, look at it as a reference point. Because again, my model is content creation. Creating the content is the product, it is the business. That is why I lavish resources on you all, because I'm not trying to keep my lights on with resources. I'm keeping my lights on by growing an audience. And as I grow my audience, as I go and speak at conferences, as I do podcasts, as I create content for platforms like Canva Design School, you start to see me popping up over and over and over again. And you start to realize, wow, she's so consistent with her delivery and her expertise. I want to work with her. And when it is a good time for you, when the timing and your budget line up, people of their own accord reach out, whether it is a brand, an event, or an entrepreneur. Those are the people that I serve. And so that is what I love about YouTube, is I can just focus on establishing myself as a thought leader, and then I can just trust that my ideal customer is smart enough to put two and two together when the timing is right. I don't have to grind. I don't have to hustle. I don't have to prove myself. The proof is in the 500 plus videos on this channel. That's the proof. And so if you choose to use YouTube, I genuinely believe that the more that you post, the more your confidence is going to grow, the better public speaker you're going to become, which is a skill set that you can leverage no matter what you're doing, whether you're working for someone else or working for yourself. You being able to take your knowledge and communicate it clearly to the people that you're trying to help in life is a life skill that is priceless, because we all know what it feels like to be in a conversation with someone who doesn't know how to talk, who doesn't know how to articulate their thoughts, who's using all these filler words and misspeaking and talking in circles. And as kind as you want to be to that person, it is hard to understand them. And so as you utilize YouTube, no matter what surface you use, whether it's shorts or live streams or pre-recorded content, you are going to become a speaker. If you decide to charge people for you speaking, that's on you. But I want you to know that that is the huge takeaway that you are going to have if you show up. And so ultimately, it isn't actually about the dormant or dead YouTube channel. It is about your commitment to building up a library of your thought leadership online. How serious is that to you? Is it important for people to be able to go to a channel and to see with ease and clarity what you're good at and how you can help them? That's the reason why you should revive a dead YouTube channel. But if that is not in alignment with your goals, if that is not in alignment with where you're trying to go, then again, you are actively losing money by doubling down on YouTube because it takes time, it takes consistency, and it takes the attention. It takes your attention away from other things. So that is why I choose to go live on Monday at 10. It helps me remember that YouTube is not just a hobby. This is my job. It is my way to clock in, to refocus on what matters. And honestly, when I end my streams, I always walk away going, man, I'm good at what I do. Man, all I had was 2 post-it notes with, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, less than 10 words. And I was able to deliver value for an hour. That's the power of YouTube. I have watched video content of myself over the years, and I'm like, wow. I was a girl who was too afraid to even turn the camera on. My earliest Canva tutorials, I did not show my face. I had a Yeti mic with a broken leg that was glued on, and I just shared my screen and talked over it, edited my own content. And years later, this is what I'm at. So I love encouraging you. I love being able to show you what is possible. And ultimately, the best way for me to walk alongside you in this journey is for you to be a member because I travel a lot. I work with a lot of brands. And so I block out time to be accessible to my members. I can't guarantee when you want to book a strategy session that I'm even going to be available. But I do know that the Bootstrap creators, every single month, I plan out activities. I plan touch points to go live with them, whether it's a work with me session, it's a workshop, or a coaching call, to make sure that I am there to encourage them, to support them, and to keep them accountable to the things that they promised themselves. So we are at 11 o'clock. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments now. If you haven't already, if you liked this live stream, remember liking it is a great way to help get me in front of more people. I have a playlist on the channel that has all of the live activities that we've done with the members this month. And again, shows you when the coaching call is going to be. So I utilize playlists as a way to actively market not just what I've done, but what I'm doing with my members. So we started the month with an interview with Antonio Neves, and we talked about the 1-day method. And so that was really more about mindset, more personal development than business development. After that, we had a couple work with me sessions where the replays are available. I talked about the mistakes that a lot of podcast hosts make when they post their episodes to YouTube, and that replay is available. We had that podcast monetization workshop with Alan. And so today you are watching my episode all about how to revive a dead YouTube channel. So I will be heading to Nashville for a couple days, to Des Moines for a couple days, and to Austin for 4 days to finish off the month. So the last time that you're going to see me live is for the Bootstrap Creator Coaching Call. I would encourage you between now and the 24th, if you want to be in the room, all you have to do is join on the YouTube channel. And so when I go live, you'll be able to see it because you are a member. It's super easy. Everything is self-contained on the channel. All you have to do is hit join. Highly recommend doing it on a desktop because if you have an iPhone and you do it on your phone, Apple will charge additional fees. Don't know how they get away with it, but they do. So if you want the cheapest way to join, do it on a desktop. It's super simple. So with that being said, I'm so glad that you were here. I'm so glad that you liked it because I did see a few likes. And I will catch you guys for the coaching call. I'll be posting some behind the scenes on Instagram and on LinkedIn. And with that being said, as we like to say on our channel, until next time, ta for now.